So, hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, basically, we're going to have a debate whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should still be in a job at Manchester United or whether he should be sacked. And if he is sacked, then who should replace him? So, I've basically come down to the top two candidates, that's Zinedine Zidane and Antonio Conte. So, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets sacked, I think these two are the most probable candidates for the job. I mean, it could go to someone else, but I think these two are the most probable candidates. So, if you ask me out of them, I would choose Antonio Conte compared to Zidane because Antonio Conte is a serial winner and I think he will succeed at Man United if he joins. So, Zidane is also a very good manager if you see some of his stats, but I would prefer Antonio Conte. So, let us begin with whether first Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked. So, as we know, the Premier League has begun, and Manchester United have not had their favorite start, you would say, to Premier League. To be honest, I mean, everyone thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would succeed this year, considering the amount of players he has and the quality he has in his squad. He's been really backed well, and everyone expected him to succeed, but it hasn't been the dream start for him this season. I mean, I think in the last 5 games, Man United have lost 3 games and almost lost a game against Villarreal, which obviously Cristiano Ronaldo saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So let's just look at some of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's stats. In the 2019 season, that was his first season in charge, he averaged 1.83 points per match, which is, to be honest, not that bad. It is way more than what Mourinho did. Mourinho averaged something like 1.5 points per match, so it's an improvement of Mourinho, but this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not done that well, if you go to see. I mean, his inexperience kind of leads him on because he leaves out players like Donny van de Beek and players like Fred and McTominay in the squad. So it kind of shows in his inexperience, and I think his coaching setup mainly requires on Mike Phelan and other people like that, like Michael Carrick and all. So that's one disadvantage. But another advantage of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whenever he is in a bad position, he somehow manages to always get a result. I think it was last year too when Man United were playing against Everton, and there was a lot of pressure on him, and Man United ended up winning like the next 4 or 5 games, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was back in the job because I think he always performs well under pressure. So I don't think he is going to get sacked this season. Maybe in January if it goes bad, but up till January, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself knows that his job is safe at Manchester United. So, what would happen if it went really bad for him and say he got sacked? So, the probable two candidates I've lined up is Antonio Conte and Zinedine Zidane. So, guys, let me know who you think would be your preferred candidate. For me, my preferred candidate is going to be Antonio Conte because I think he's a serial winner. The amount of trophies he's won a Premier League, he's won an FA Cup, he's won 4 series, so it's a pretty good record. And Antonio Conte has a 2.11 points per match. It's way more than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he's a serial winner, to be honest. I mean, you can see his coaching from Juventus. He's been Juventus manager twice. He's also been the manager of Italy, Chelsea, as we know, winning the Premier League with them, and Inter Milan winning the Serie A with them. So I would prefer Antonio Conte compared to Zinedine Zidane, but Zinedine Zidane is also a great manager, as you can see. His preferred formation is a 4-3-3 attacking. That's really good. So let me know who you think would be your preferred manager. For me, I think it would be Antonio Conte. So if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did get sacked, I think Antonio Conte would be the best replacement, even though he plays a more defensive style. But I think he would massively improve Manchester United as a team. For me, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to do now is he needs to really gather a team, stop playing McTominay and Fred together, and needs to find a solution, a new formation probably, because it's not working under him right now, and he's changing the team too much. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not get sacked. I think he'll regain his form as a manager because he always does that when he's in these type of positions. When it looks like he's going to get sacked, the team always turns up and backs him. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a lucky man in the first place to be the Manchester United manager after his dream start. But it looks like things are a little rough for him, and he himself has said that he's had 3 or 4 rough patches at Manchester United, and I'm sure he will know that he's got to change this start to the season. I mean, Ronaldo storming off the pitch against Everton, that was 100% is going to impact Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's going to know that Ronaldo wants to win trophies and wants to win these type games against Everton and such. So, guys, let me know if you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still should be the manager of Manchester United. Noel John says, "Hi, bro. Hi, Noel." So it's going to be really interesting from my point of view because as a Manchester United fan, in the last 4 or 5 matches, Man United have been absolutely dreadful. I mean, Newcastle are playing better football than Man United at the moment, and that shouldn't be the case. So you can see how bad the situation is. It doesn't look that bad on the table because I think Man United are within the top four, but the style of football is dreadful. So he's massively got to improve four things for me. He's got to stop playing McFred. He's got to improve his style of football, possibly a new formation, maybe a few new coaches. I know Mike Phelan has just signed a 2 year contract, but he's got to take advantage of his time at Man United. He signed a 3 year contract just this year, so I don't see him going anywhere until something goes really bad till January. That looks really unlikely to happen with the squad that Manchester United have. So if you'd ask me, in my opinion, I would sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I would have actually sacked him after the Europa League loss, but it's not up to me, obviously. So he's been given the job, and I guess as a Man United fan, I gotta trust him at this point. Because you see, even if you're Ole out at the moment, there's nothing gonna happen. The squad is too bad to completely fail. I mean, the earliest I would say he could get the sack if it is really bad is by January, because I think that's when the Champions League games end. So if Man United are nowhere near a title race, I think Man United will definitely be in the top four. So if Man United are like nowhere near a title race out of the Champions League, losing matches continuously, I think that's the best scenario for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get the sack. So I would rather actually prefer that not happen and he actually won a few games and did well for Man United. I know many people really want him to go now, but that's just impossible, I would say, at the moment. There's no way the Glazers are going to sack him. I actually feel they say. Kai Essendon says Mr. Kai should replace him. I mean, Kai Havertz would probably be better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment because I think he has no idea what he's doing. There's a lot of questions being asked on him and his coaching. And as we know, he's been living off moments in his manager job this season. His preferred formation 4-2-3-1. I mean, we've heard rumors that he would love to play a 4-3-3 at Man United. I mean, actually, if you go to see, sacking him might be a good decision. I think you might remember what happened with Chelsea last year. Frank Lampard got backed really well with great players like Hakim Ziyech, Thiago Silva. I mean, Timo Werner, that time was a really good signing, and I still think he's a really good player. Then we've got Kai Havertz, obviously. Plus, they had also Maling Saab, which they loaned out. So they had a couple of really good players signed by Chelsea, and Frank Lampard didn't. He failed to perform using these players, and it kind of looks the same as happening with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I wouldn't exactly compare the situation exactly the same, but I would say maybe sacking him just like before December would be the best chance for Man United to turn around. But I'm afraid what the Glazers might do is if they do sack him, then it's very probable that they will sack him when they know that there's no chance that he's going to make a top four finish or the Man United are going to go anywhere near a Champions League final or something. So that would be really bad in the first place because when the new manager comes in, obviously Man United will be too far away to come back into the top four or to come back into a Champions League or something. So I think what the Glazers are waiting for is for him to do really badly if they want to sack him because till then I think his job is completely safe. I mean, a lot of Ole out trending on Twitter and stuff like that, but I don't think that's going to massively affect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching staff. So what he needs to do is, I think Man United's next fixtures are defining for him. Not in the sense defining that if he loses like 3 out of 6, he is going to get sacked. Defining in the sense that I think many fans are now choosing between Ole and Ole out for the final time because this is obviously his most decisive season, I would say, as a Man United manager in his past 2 years. And these next 6 matches are really major matches because they're against top 6 sides, and he is no way gonna like if he gets away with these matches, then you can't say it's luck because they continuous really tough matches like there's Leicester, Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea. So their matches that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if he wins, will get a lot of praise and get a couple of fans on his side. I wouldn't say the full lot because still people don't like him as his coaching style, as his playing style. I mean, what he could basically do is play a back six and win all the games. And still, I would understand if people would be Ole out because the style of football is absolutely dreadful. So, guys, let me know what you think or whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should get sacked or no. According to me, it doesn't matter even if you feel he's going to get sacked because that's not going to happen. I would have preferred he would have got sacked when Man United lost the Europa League final. I think if you sack him now, there's a lot of disruption in the first place, and also I don't think the Glazers would do it unless it's confirmed or guaranteed that he's almost out of the top four race or Man United drop out Champions League. Remember, Man United did drop off Champions League last year and they were not playing well. So it was a similar situation, but the Glazers still backed him and it looked like he was going to get the sack. But somehow, after that, he turned around and finished Manchester United second in the Premier League. So I would say even if, like some people are worried that if Man United don't sack him at the moment, coaches like Zidane and Conte will not be available. I mean, there are loads of coaches available. I mean, there's Eric Ten Hag. He's a really good coach attacking football. There's Laurent Blanc. I know Man United will go nowhere near him. Then there's Graham Potter. He's also a very good coach and could shine at a bigger club. I mean, he's doing really well at Brighton at the moment. Brighton do play really attacking football if you see, so it could be a chance for him to prove himself. For me, mainly, I don't think Man United will go anywhere near Conte, even though I would love him to join the club because coaches like Conte, Mourinho, Van Gaal, they speak out. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets a sack, he's not going to say anything bad about the Glazers. He's going to say that he's glad he got the chance and that it was a great opportunity, but it just didn't work out. But managers like Antonio Conte, Mourinho, what they do is they really speak out on the owners and the way the club functions. So therefore, I think they would rather go near someone like Graham Potter or maybe even Gareth Southgate. I would hate Gareth Southgate to join the club, but they would go near some kind of manager like that. So if I had to pick out of that, I would say Graham Potter. Noel Jones says Solskjaer should remain as the manager, in my opinion. I mean, it's really hard for me to say because even if you want him to remain the manager, that's probably what is going to happen. I don't think he's going to get sacked, but that's probably kind of the worst part because he himself knows that if he gets top four, he's going to remain the manager. He's a Manchester United legend. And the way Man United are playing, if you watch Manchester United play, it's absolutely dreadful. I'm not even joking. Newcastle is really playing better than Man United at the moment. So he's got to massively improve the playing style. I think what the fans are asking for is not that he has to win every game 5-0 or 4-0 or completely dominate a team, but thing is, Man United are first of all not winning against silly teams like Everton, Aston Villa, and the second thing is they haven't been playing good football. I would say the match against Everton, probably the first half was really good. I felt the passing was very good, and hopefully he can improve on that. But the problem is, once Marcus Rashford does come back, he's definitely going to drop Pogba back into the midfield. So obviously he's going to drop McTominay off Fred, but what worries me is that will kind of leave out Donny van de Beek even more. So Donny van de Beek, what the news is breaking in is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to let him go on loan in January, hoping that something similar can happen to that of Jesse Lingard. I mean, these are completely different situations with Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard has had his chance at Manchester United, was let to go on loan, and did absolutely brilliant. I was surprised that West Ham didn't buy him or Man United didn't let him go. Whatever, that's all in the past right now. So I think if Donny van de Beek does play well on loan, I think it's going to be a completely different situation. I think Donny van de Beek will know that he's going to leave the club if he does play well on loan and the club want to buy him. I think he'll have no faith in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So maybe Donny van de Beek can have a future at Manchester United, but not under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, I mean, first of all, his treatment of Donny van de Beek should be a great point because some players haven't been treated that well, like Alex Telles. I mean, it's worked out great for Luke Shaw, but not that much for Alex Telles. So, Noel Jones says, what's your opinion? So, on my opinion on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, I mean, at the start of the season, when Man United lost the Europa League final, I would have been more than happy to just let him have the sack and get in a manager because at that time Zidane was available and it was a really bad period for Manchester United. So at that point, I would just have loved him to get a sack, but it didn't happen. So moving into the season with the signings Man United made, Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane, Cristiano Ronaldo, I was definitely backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I thought that Man United will deliver really well this season, and the style of football will obviously improve because of the big stars. But unfortunately, it's been absolutely opposite. I mean, it's been absolutely dreadful football. I mean, without Rafael Varane, I would say with Victor Lindelof in the squad last season, Man United were playing better football than what they're playing now. So this there's a lot of similarities between this and Chelsea. If you see last season when Chelsea won the Lampard, they had good glimpses, but it was not always working out for them, and they decided to sack Lampard. And you can see with the position in Chelsea, which they are now. I mean, it's not like Chelsea had a bad squad and Tuchel transformed the squad. Chelsea had a really good squad last season, and the same with Manchester United this season. It's a similar situation. Only Lampard didn't know how to utilize the squad well, and Tuchel came in and he was absolutely brilliant. And there's not a lot of changes made to the Chelsea squad right now under Tuchel and Lampard. A few changes obviously is Lukaku's come in. So if you see, maybe getting a manager at this moment would be the right decision and Man United can take inspiration. Noel John says, oh, okay. So I don't mind if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stays in the job, honestly, unless he does really bad, because I don't think he's going to get sacked. But if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does start winning a few games, I think it's pretty obvious he himself will know that the confidence in him will grow and it won't matter a lot. But the problem is, at the moment, even if Manchester United are winning games, you'll still see Ole out trending on Twitter. And I absolutely understand it, because the football is really not that good. It's been absolutely dreadful to watch, and Manchester United are basically living off moments, just like one long pass and Cristiano Ronaldo saving the day for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We had this happen a few times last season, but Man United played way better in the game than how it's happened this season. So let me just give you my prediction of what I think is going to happen. So, guys, my prediction of what I think is going to happen is, in the next 6 games, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Man United are going to win the games. I can't tell you if they're going to play good football or whatever, but I feel Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will stay in his job for maybe another year. And at the end of the season, I think that's the season, depending on how Man United do in the league and Champions League. For me, the Champions League, I think Man United, it's a league that Man United can win this season. I know it seems very unlikely, but I feel Man United have a team good enough to win the Champions League, and there are not a lot of matches in the Champions League compared to the Premier League. So it's a one-off game in the Champions League, and that could be a real chance for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So according to me, it will depend on next season. I don't see him getting the sack this season unless things go really bad up till January. That's when I think it's the earliest that he can get the sack. Noel John says, which manager would you like to replace him? I mean, I've already spoken about this, but I would prefer Antonio Conte. But the problem is, I don't think that Manchester United will go near Antonio Conte or Zinedine Zidane. I think they'll be more or less looking at managers like maybe Graham Potter, or also Eric Ten Hag could be an option. Gareth Southgate is said to be linked with a job. I mean, that would be absolutely horrible. I would rather have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer than Gareth Southgate. So I would say my suitable manager would be Graham Potter. But if Man United do go for Zidane or Conte, I would choose Conte, because I think Conte is going to be a really good manager. And I feel Conte is the type of manager that could transform any squad. I mean, just see what he did with Inter Milan. It was a complete, absolutely boosted their squad. And I think they're still leading the Serie A even without him. But the season that Inter Milan had with Antonio Conte last year was absolutely magnificent. Romelu Lukaku, what a striker he is. I mean, Romelu Lukaku even said it the year just when Conte joined. He said that, for me, Conte is the best manager in the world, and that's why I've joined him. So I can completely agree with him. Conte is a really good manager, and definitely some club or the else is going to get him. So why not Manchester United get him? So for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think even if he gets sacked as a manager, definitely some other club is might be interested in him. I think Frank Lampard is a better manager. I don't think Frank Lampard is in a job at the moment. I think he's currently as a pundit right now. So I do think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would get a job. He's not dreadful, guys. I mean, he's had some really good spells in Manchester United. His best probably being the one after lockdown. But I would say it's like the standards have been too high for him this season, and he's just failed to deliver. So, guys, Noel Jones says, who do you think will win the Champions League? I mean, I actually think Manchester United have a fair chance of winning the Champions League. By fair chance, I would say it because of the games in the Champions League. So, my top three predictions would be, in number one, I think Chelsea might win it again. I'm not going to put PSG or Man City in the top three because I think they're going to choke at some point in the competition. I think I'm going to go for all three Premier League clubs, and number two, I think, is Liverpool, and third, probably Man United. For some reason, I think PSG and Man City will choke on it. I don't think any La Liga team is good enough. I mean, Real Madrid look good at the moment, but I don't think they have a squad good enough to win it. Barcelona, obviously, no chance, I feel. From the Premier League, obviously, I feel Man City, I don't think they'll be able to do it. I feel there's some curse or yes with Man City. Moving to other leagues, Serie A, I mean, Inter Milan do have a chance, I would say, but I don't think they will win it. So for me, it's between Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. Obviously, Juventus, you could see them in, but obviously in the last few years, Juventus haven't doing well. PSG strong side, but I just don't think. I think they'll choke at some point in the competition. So that's why I think we'll win the Champions League. Hopefully, it turns out to be Man United, which is Man United's next match, bro. So Man United's next match is against Everton. If I'm not mistaken, it's on the 16th of this month, because now there's an international break. So sorry, not Everton, sorry, Leicester. The match is against Leicester, and on the 16th, because international break. I just hate the international break, but this time the international break will be fun for me because I'm planning to stream a few matches and do some watch alongs. So this will be the first time I'll be doing watch alongs for international matches, and I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, if you have any other questions, please let me know. Oh, I'm going to end the debate right here. My last opinion is I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will stay in his job. I think he should get sacked, but I don't think that's going to happen. Noel John says, I think United will win. I mean, I honestly thought United will win against Everton and it didn't happen. So you never know. And Leicester's a good side. But even I think that Man United will bounce back after the international break. Hopefully, that can be the start of something good. Possibly the start of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's actual run in Manchester United. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you so much to Noel John. And that's it for today's video, guys. And I guess I'll see you some other day. So, thank you and have a nice day.